a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
How to describe it? Not a nightmare. It was much more real and frightening. As I slept, I felt myself go weightless. I drifted up, turned, and saw my own sleeping form below. I'm dying, I thought. But that wasn't it either. I wasn't a ghost. I had a new shimmering golden form, with wings instead of arms. I was some kind of bird. No, Sadie, not a chicken. Will you let me tell the story, please? Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Charlie following the path of Bast.
And I'm Raye following the path of Geb.
Oh my goodness, you did it. We did a switcheroo.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Absolutely nothing that won't be in the ending of this podcast. Because it was funny. We're just funny, silly guys, okay?
That's true. That's true every day.
Oh, that's right. Didn't I send you a thing that was like, this is Ray's. It's just a baseball cap that said,
I haven't been on Discord in like 4 days, which is, when you sent me a thing, but so I saw that just now.
I got a targeted ad that had a
hat that says I'm just a little guy. I mean, I do need it personally. I should just make one. I should go to the Michaels, get some iron-on shit.
You have the power to do that. You have the tools you need. Go do it. Have fun. Be the little guy you want to see in the world.
I do love to see little guys in the world, like my sweet boy Carter.
Yeah, how's Carter doing in this chapter?
His best.
He's having breakfast with a crocodile?
He does do that. I didn't even think about chapter titles. Sometimes I forget. I took like real notes this time. I don't always do that. We should take notes more often. I think our podcast would be better.
No, I think it's funnier when we don't take notes. We just have to shoot the shit. And figure it out as we go and be like, wow, did I even read this? Yes, but I didn't grasp any of it, clearly.
Oh god.
Honestly,
that's too real.
Honestly, that's just how I read things in school. I was just like, I'm reading this for homework. Do I understand what's happening? No, that's why I go to class. Yeah. There you go.
That syndrome where you read a paragraph and you're like, none of that is inside my brain. I have no clue what I just went through. And then you read it like 5 times. That's, wow, I haven't thought about that in forever, actually.
I love being neurodivergent. The struggle is real.
So, chapter title, that one's a win. It's factual. There's a crocodile and they do eat breakfast together. He has some bacon.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Yeah.
Is it,
we did it.
Is it enough? Does it pop?
What else happens in this chapter? I have a conversation with my uncle doesn't pop nearly as much, so I think that we did a good job.
It should say Christmas breakfast with a crocodile, I think.
Just for extra points.
Just for the extra points of things. Like, I made the last one better, right? Because it was like, we meet the monkey, and I think I was like, my uncle has a monkey butler or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we can get sillier with it. Rick, take notes.
Rick, get sillier with your chapter titles.
Maybe these chapter titles are less silly because they're not Percy. Maybe that was a Percy special.
There's a few really good ones. I think the next one is pretty good. Not gonna lie. But, we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Tell us what happened.
Okay. My boy Carter, he has a weird dream about being in Arizona, which I don't think is something anyone has ever had a dream about before.
Maybe Bella Swan has those dreams. I don't know. She's from Phoenix.
Yeah. So Carter, just like my boy Percy, he be having his prophetic dreams and whatnot, and he sees some of the fiery guy's plans. With no context, we'll get into it. But obviously we can't let the jig be up so soon. Rick has to be mysterious. Carter, Sadie, and Amos get up and have a nice breakfast out on the terrace, and they have a mostly candid chat. In general, Sadie takes this whole thing much better than Carter. It turns out that the gods are real, like the Egyptian gods.
Hey! Like the ones you learned about, but weren't paying attention to?
Yeah, those guys. So Amos explains that their dad was trying to summon Osiris for, some purposes, perhaps. He was talking about Mom a lot. Osiris is god of the dead. We're getting into this stuff now. So apparently he did summon Osiris, but again, he got more than he bargained for. And now the fiery guy is out here doing his shit. Carter shares his dream vision with the class, and he gets roasted for not using the clearly magical pillow. His vision freaks Amos out, and Amos leaves without actually explaining anything. As you do when you're a mentor in one of these series. And then Sadie wants to do crimes while he's gone.
I think there's technically supposed to be a different character who's like the Chiron of this series, but Amos just fits it so well.
Yeah, he's doing it right now. Actively.
Literally. Doesn't explain shit, but also gives you the little magical tidbits. Here's some stuff that you're gonna need to know later. You don't need to know right now. The stuff you want to know right now, you're not gonna learn till the end of the book. So
just talks around it in the vaguest of ways. He's literally I could just tell you who the big bad is right now, but I don't want to get into it. You would have questions. I don't want to deal with that. I'm leaving. Bye.
Just I'm going to Phoenix. See you later. This is fine. Bruh.
Can't believe this.
Can't believe. Well, you know what he did talk about in this chapter? He talked about a myth thing.
Something that has perhaps come up with us before.
Yeah, where we had to learn the pronunciation so it could be in our end credits.
Uh-huh.
So, let us go and talk about the duat, in case you missed it.
Yay.
But
Sorry, I forgot.
You almost missed it! You weren't paying attention!
I wasn't. I was looking at the duat.
Ray is canceled from the podcast. They stole my intro. They didn't do the thing with me. I don't know.
Yeah, I've messed up the whole podcast. Yeah, this one's trash now. We better throw it away. Start over.
I was gonna say I have to kick out another co-host. I have to find a new person. Again.
Oh damn! Oh, is that what happened to Taylor? Oh, the truth come out.
Plot twist. I just murdered Taylor and she's in the basement. Don't worry about it.
Oh shit.
That's why she's Deus Ex Ghost in the server. The real reason.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with the murder mystery party. Okay. Let's talk about the duat. I think the ancient Egyptian is a slightly different pronunciation. I don't know. There's a W there. I don't know what that means. But we also have a couple other names for it that I don't recall ever seeing referenced in this series, but it's also called the Amentes, or the Te, I guess? T? But those are that one. The first one is Greek, and the other one is Coptic. So it's in different languages, technically, or different dialects as well. Yeah, you know what it is? It's the underworld,
basically.
Yeah, it's basically the underworld. I don't know if Rick is doing some very interesting interpretation here with the gods and the duat, because he's oh, it's just this other plane of existence kind of thing that's kind of intertwined with our world or whatever. I don't know. He's doing some weird shit.
I like the way that he's doing it. I like planes that are layered on top of other planes. I like this D&D shit.
Yeah, it is very D&D, honestly. This is the D&D series, let's be honest here. Yeah, so we also have what it's represented as in hieroglyphs, which I don't think I've ever seen this before either. It's just a star in a circle.
Oh.
So a little tiny star and a little tiny
It looks
circle.
like a sand dollar to me.
It really does, doesn't it? Well, we know what Percy could have spent that sand dollar on. He could have gotten a free ticket into the Duat, like, right?
Yeah, maybe Amos would have shown up and given him a ride on his boat.
Free boat rides, anybody? Amos is actually taking Charon's job, didn't you know?
He'd be good at it.
Totally. Okay, so, Osiris is the lord of the underworld, as we already talked about before. We already talked about his myth. That's important. But, like, it's kind of its own place, like how we have the Egyptian underworld. It's its own, like, place. It's also not hell. Did you know that? It's not hell.
Yeah, I did know that one.
I'm glad you know, because we do have demons running around here. We'll probably get into Egyptian demons someday. But, like, many different cultures have their own form of, like, demons or daemons of some kind. They don't necessarily have to be, like, servants of Satan.
Right. Demon is a concept that can be translated. You know, we're calling them demons, but that's not it. That doesn't mean they're Christian demons.
Yeah, this literally describes it as, like, they're not evil. They might be, like, ugly looking, but they are spirits. They help the gods. They help the people who are deceased. Yada, yada, yada. So there is in fact punishment in the underworld, but also, there's probably good things somewhere. And we also have here a whole thing about Ra going into the Duat, because that's where he goes at, like, when you don't see the sun, is his boat goes through the waters of the underworld when he dies and all of that shit. I've already talked about that before as well.
Y'all know what that means. In Egypt, the world is flat.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, if the sun goes below the horizon and then it's in the underworld and not on the other side of the world,
I feel like it's more that the other side of the world is the underworld. Because they do have the concept of the circle. Like, I think the Egyptians knew a bit more about the astrological stuff. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can't remember. In my astronomy class, we talked about, like, the first guy who, like, recorded the curvature of the Earth using, like, the shadows of maybe it was just some obelisks, so it might have been in Egypt. I don't remember. Let me look that up while you talk about the Duat some more.
I was gonna say, if Ray doesn't find this out, somebody let us know. Were the Egyptians flat earthers? But, like,
mythologically, I'm saying, so, like, how in Rick Riordan universe, all of the mythologies are true. I'm saying that the Earth is simultaneously. It's like Middle Earth. Did you know that Middle Earth is flat, but only for elves?
No, I know this. I know this. Okay. So,
it's like that.
I did, in fact, take a Tolkien class in college. Actually,
that's hilarious. I love that.
One of my professors was, like, a Tolkien scholar. He knew Tolkien's son and worked on various Tolkien things. It was a whole thing. But I remember learning in this class that, like, my friend and I wrote this on a study guide. We were like, so the earth was flat, and then it wasn't. And that's basically how that happened in history and all of that. But for the elves, it's still flat because they see weird shit. I don't understand that. I don't get it, but okay.
Yeah. So since the Earth is flat, then they can go off into the special elf place.
What's your elf I see, Legolas?
It just keeps going. What are your special elf I see? I love that shit.
Who knew we would talk about both flat Earth and Tolkien shit here today on the pod? Oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know, man. I just know that we get our, like, we not only get, like, the 360 of the circle from the Egyptians, we also get the 365 from them that we'll probably talk about at some point, here on the pod. But we literally get the fact that we have 365 days of the year from the ancient Egyptians. So it's important shit. They knew stuff.
I'm on the History of Geodesy wiki, and, like, my quick skimming is not finding the guy who I wanted to find, who measured, like, these shadows of towers that were a specific distance away and used a theorem to calculate how spherical the Earth is. But, so I can't find that quickly. But I did find out that people had all kinds of ideas. Anaximenes, an early Greek philosopher, believed strongly that the Earth was rectangular. So, it's like the square in that Barbie movie.
I was gonna say, we almost have cubed Earth. Cubed Earth is superior! Cubed Earth is the best Earth!
Anyways, so, people were coming up with all kinds of shapes in ancient Greek, and I like knowing that, so I thought I'd share that with you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me talk about, we got a little bit more on Ra here.
Yeah, continue, please.
Like I said, he dies, then he comes back and all of that. He also has different forms as well when he's like there. Where is it? He's riding on his barge. Okay. Atum is his older form, and then Kepri is his younger form. So we have, like, you know, the dawning sun and then, like, the dying sun, I guess. I don't know. We just have various forms of Ra and the sun and all of that. And hey, in the Duat, it's also where he fights a giant snake. But also, there's just a lot of giant snakes in the Duat. There's just a lot of giant snakes in Egyptian stuff. Okay,
it's their natural habitat.
There's so many fucking snakes. I'm gonna be honest. There's so many snakes. Like, Indiana Jones could never. Like, why did it have to be snakes? But also, I love snakes. Snakes are great. Okay. Moving on. It's a place of the dead. Yeah, there in fact are dead people there. We have Osiris. We have the Judgment. Did you know that? They also judge their dead. It's very cool. You get to judge your heart and like your entire soul and your being, basically, against a feather.
It's good
How
stuff.
do you feel about that? Is your heart heavier than a feather?
I really don't know what that means.
We're gonna learn about it. I want to know what happens if it's lighter. Like, is it supposed to be equal or is it supposed to be lighter? That's my real question.
I don't know.
The answer is, if it's heavier, you basically go to hell.
Right.
Your heart actually gets eaten and you, like, die again, I guess. And then there's the good place. That's the bad place, is when you get eaten. The good place is called the Field of Rushes. I guess you plow, you sow, you harvest crops forever. Can't wait to go to heaven. I think I would rather die again.
Bro, is this not your cottagecore lifestyle dream? Come on now.
My cottagecore is not plowing fields. I think I'd rather I want to pick flowers. Like I'll garden. I feel like that's slightly smaller than, like, you know, a whole field.
But it's not just your field. You're with everybody. You and your whole community participating in the fruits of
my
the earth.
cottage core is by myself. Not by myself, but it's with, like, it's like, you know, your inner circle and you're, like, secluded. I don't consider cottage core to be, like, a bunch of people all smushed together.
I mean, it's not, but also it's more collectivist.
Maybe I have different ideas of cottagecore. I'm picturing the Barbie cottagecore.
Like, I'm making a ridiculous argument. Like,
you are.
I'm saying that you're right about what cottagecore is. I'm just saying maybe cottagecore is bad. Maybe that's colonialist to be like, I have to own my own land all by myself.
Did the Barbie girls own their own land in Diamond Castle? Did they?
I always thought so,
Barbie
yeah.
and Teresa?
Yeah,
I thought they just lived there.
I thought that they owned that little cottage because they're, you know, they own a business. They're making a living off the land there.
No, I'm just saying, do they have a deed to this house? Or do they just,
telling me that you think Barbie would do a crime? Telling me? You think Barbie is a squatter?
I think Barbie does so many crimes. But she gets away with it because she's Barbie.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
Who would put Barbie in jail?
How? It would be physically impossible.
Like, they couldn't even do
it in the Barbie movie. We are so off topic.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is my goal for the day, is to get Raye off as many times as possible. Because there's not a whole lot to talk about here. I mean, it's the land of the gods, it's the land of the underworld, and guess what? There's several sources of it, blah, blah, blah. It's in popular culture! And what's the first one on here?
Kane Chronicles!
Kane Chronicles.
Woo!
Chronicles. We also have it in a few other things. There's a video game, Spelunky 2. It's in Assassin's Creed Origins. It's in Moon Knight. I mean, obviously it would be in Moon Knight. Don't look, Ray. You can't get spoilers. It's kind of referenced in Night at the Museum too, which... You
know, I've never seen past the first one. I would like to watch the other.
Night at the Museum for this section of the pod too, I think.
Oh my god, we actually should.
Because it's all about, like, the
yeah,
Egyptian
that is not
mummies.
on our list. It should be. We have to watch the whole Night at the Museum series.
Okay, we at least have to watch the trilogy. I don't know about... There's like a show or something on Disney Plus too.
Oh,
that I heard about.
See, that's different. What? That's not real.
It's not real. It can't hurt you. I'm so glad we did that together. Ray and I are just, like, on the same wavelength, and I don't know how this happened.
That's why it's so weird to me when we don't know the same memes. I'm like, come on, bro. And you're like, what are you on about?
Okay, let's see. Night at the Museum. There we go. It's now on the list. I've done it. You're welcome.
Heck yeah. Thank you. Just for me.
Just for you. I guess it's also in a couple other things, but that's not important right now. Let's talk about the chapter.
Yay! Book time.
Book time. Book time. Let's have breakfast with a crocodile. Merry Christmas. Okay, so, first off, we get here, and guess what? Rick has done his favorite thing. We get a dream.
Dream sequence. Woo!
I mean, is it a dream? Is it not a dream?
From Amos's explanation later, this is not a dream. Unlike what Percy does, Carter is like, I would describe it as like astral projection. I don't know if they ever use that word in this book. They didn't in this chapter, I don't think, but...
I was gonna say, there's different language they talk about later, but, okay, so like... So long ago, like probably like season 1 of OTEG, Taylor and I covered like dreams and how like the Greeks saw them, and it was like this whole thing about how it was like you could, I don't know if it was like you could communicate with gods, but it was like you could go different places in time and different places like in the world or whatever. It's just like dreams were, you know, you could see things and have visions in your dreams. It wasn't just, hey, look, I had a dream and like this famous person was there and we talked for a bit. Like it wasn't your run-of-the-mill dream.
Well, I feel like most cultures have that, where like dreams have this level of importance.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
the Bible is the same way. And so I feel like a lot of ancient cultures had that perception. And modern cultures, you know?
Yeah.
Dream interpretation is like a whole thing.
Dream. Okay. So Carter's like, am I dying? What's happening? He literally is like, it's like he's astral projecting, because he's, my brain wants to compare this to like a ride at Disney. I was just there, but I never, the Winnie the Pooh ride was closed, but there's like this thing on the Winnie the Pooh ride where he like lifts up out of his sleeping form into like a weird ghostly form and then has this dream, and it's like a whole thing that happens, and this is what's happening to Carter right now.
I think that's not just on the ride. I think that was in Winnie the Pooh.
It's been so long since I've seen those movies. I just remember
me too.
the ride
I can't remember
so
like
vividly.
when or but yeah, I've seen that image.
I just, like I said, I remember it from the ride. And so yeah, Carter's like, I'm dreaming in color. I have all 5 senses. What is this? Could he do? Why didn't he do the pinch myself thing? Like what's wrong with you, Carter? Like pinch yourself. See if you're dreaming.
Do you know what senses you have in your dreams? My dreams are so vague. Like, this is not, like, I don't know if I dream in color or not, because I don't remember my dreams well enough to be able to tell.
Sometimes you dream in color. I've tasted chocolate in my dreams before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that works.
The pinch yourself thing has never made sense to me because I've felt pain in dreams.
Okay, I've done that in dreams, and it's like it's given me the self-awareness to be like, okay, this is a dream. Cool. Also, I try to sometimes I'm in dreams and I'm like, ew, I don't want you in here. Punches your face out to get you away from me. And then I'm like, my punch didn't land. I don't like this. It doesn't feel right. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't feel like I physically inhabit dreams very often unless they're like me dreaming that I just woke up and got ready for my day. Like, if I'm having like a fantastical dream, I don't feel very physically present.
Yeah, that happens to me sometimes too. I have dreams where I'm flying. I have musical dreams.
See, you're describing these experiences and I'm like, none of this registers to me. That's not how I experience dreaming.
I don't know, man. That's just how my brain is.
Yeah, so I think that I'm weird. Which is what I was trying to establish.
No one is the same, okay, bruh?
No, that's
Everyone
true,
dreams differently.
too.
Okay, so he's like flying away, and then he's like, I have wings, and like talons, but like my face is the same. So he is dubbed a Carter-headed chicken by Sadie in like the weird brackets.
Thanks, Sadie.
And then suddenly he's, I guess, in Phoenix, and he sees two, like, demon-y guys in the dark, and he's invisible. This is important, so they don't know he's there.
I don't know if he is invisible or if he just doesn't get close enough for them to notice him. He's probably invisible if it's just his soul going out for a trip, but I don't know if it establishes that or not.
So we have Toad Guy and we have Rooster Foot Guy, our two demons, and they're waiting for Fiery Guy.
I love these descriptions. Those are just their names now. They get capitalized.
They do in fact get capitalized. I love it so much. So Fiery Guy can only appear for a short time. He hasn't taken a permanent host. I don't know what that means, but they're meeting him, and they're scared of him, like...
With good reason.
So they're like, oh, this is Phoenix, it's a cool desert. And he's like, yes, I love the desert. I'm gonna make it even more desert.
He says the desert should be a sterile place, and I'm like, you're an idiot. I kill you. The
Literally.
desert is a beautiful ecosystem. It's unique and wonderful, and the animals that live there need to be protected. You're like those bitches who put golf courses in the middle of the desert. Shut up. Anyways, that's my environmental rant.
I just thought of something else that we could cover. Just because of desert.
Boy.
Just cover holes.
I do love holes.
Who doesn't love holes? Okay.
I was thinking about
Phoenix...
Rango. I don't know that either of those count, though.
We're just having fun times here, okay? That's all that matters. But he's so happy that it's like Phoenix. How appropriate. Except like...
Yes, I love this bit. It's so funny. It's such a goofy-ass thing for him to fixate on.
Okay, but I'm gonna fixate on it because, like, is it really appropriate? You want to take out all life here. Do you want to create new life? Because it doesn't seem like that's his goal here. It seems like he just wants to kill everybody.
It's like Ozai being the Phoenix King, where you're like, I'm gonna burn it all down and I will rise from the ashes. You know, you don't care about everybody else.
Again, I don't understand. They need better theming for this. Just because you are fire doesn't mean you have to automatically be a phoenix. If you're gonna destroy everything and like just sit on your laurels when it's all done, be a dragon. Not gonna lie, just be a dragon. But if you're going to,
sorry,
if you're gonna destroy everything and then make it all better, then you can be a phoenix. Okay, just saying. So he's talking about there's another 4 of what? One is already entombed. Maybe that's Osiris / Julius. I don't know. That stuff happens later. We talk about it. It's not spoiler. We talk about it later. Okay. There's someone else who's easily manipulated and weak, and then there's just 2 left that are gonna be dealt with soon. So. You're just, like, staring at me like you're staring into the abyss. And I'm just like, is Raye okay? I thought your video was paused.
I'm just thinking real hard. Basically, no comment. There are things that I remember about this book and things that I do not remember about this book. And a lot of the things that they're talking about here are things that I remember, so no comment.
Again, some of this is also described later in the chapter anyway. This toad guy just is asking questions, and just simply by asking
he asks
questions,
literally one question. I was just looking for that, and I was like, God damn. Okay, yeah.
He was murdered for it. Like,
just fucking disintegrated. Carter describes it as like salt on a snail. It sounds really upsetting.
Poor toad guy. Goodbye, toad guy.
These things
We barely knew ya. Roosterfoot guy is now scared. He's probably shitting his pants. Don't worry about it. And Fiery guy is like, we're gonna build a temple here. I'm gonna summon the greatest storm ever known and cleanse everything. Like, emphasis on that.
And Roosterfoot guy then has some kind of idea to increase his power, and he whispers it. Don't know why he whispers it. Maybe that's just the vibes, but that means that Carter and we do not hear what it is, but he really likes the idea. And so now, yeah. I'm sure we'll be dealing with that later.
Fiery guy's like, we're gonna unleash on forces. Start with the long necks. Okay.
like in fucking Land Before Time? Like, come on.
That's what I was thinking! It's Littlefoot!
I could punt Littlefoot, I bet.
Littlefoot's coming to wreck your home.
I could not punt Littlefoot's grandma and grandpa. They'd kill my ass.
Yeah. Don't do that. They're big. They might be leaf eaters, but they scary. Okay.
They always tell you to worry about predators, prey animals. Fucking dangerous as hell. Hippos kill so many people. I would not want to be around a brontosaurus.
Love me a hippo.
Yeah.
I love hippos because they will kill you. That's why I love them.
That's because you're a little freak, and I love you.
So you get the head that says, I'm just a little guy, and mine says, I'm just a little freak.
Aww, matching!
Besties. And so Fiery Guy's last words are, it will be a lovely birthday present. Dun dun dun!
Which is apparently relevant somehow. We'll talk about it. And
but
Carter
right now,
wakes up and Sweet Muffin is there.
Yeah. I was gonna say, right now, the most important birthday is Jesus's. Anyway.
It's the end of an era. The almost Christmas era. Now it's fucking Christmas.
No more almost Christmas. Now it just is Christmas. Okay, so Muffin somehow got into Carter's room. I guess it's not locked anymore. And he, takes a second. He's like, where am I? Who am I? Oh, right. Fuck.
My dad is in the ground.
And also, this Fiery Guy is after me. So, yeah. But, most importantly, all of his clothes are gone.
Yeah. I guess Amos took all their clothes and left them with uniforms? That's totally normal behavior and not a red flag at all.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have any, maybe he could get away with it by being like, oh, I put them in the wash. Because remember, they didn't have their luggage. They didn't take any luggage with them. But
yeah.
also,
deeply suspicious and upsetting.
Creepy. Why'd you take the shoes?
Yeah. It feels like we are in a cult as of right now. Specifically this thing of, not being able to choose your clothes, and now you all have to wear matching shit.
Yeah, it's the fact that he and Sadie end up wearing, the same exact thing. So, we're in a cult, guys. Time to have fun with that, I guess. Also, he's talking about how Sadie makes fun of how he dresses.
Yes, okay. This whole page 67 in my book, the Carter backstory, the trauma, it continues. I think about this boy so much now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So Carter's trauma and also how that, intersects with his race. Carter dresses the way that he dresses because his dad told him that he has to dress this way every day because people are going to judge him for being an African-American man, and so he has to look his best. He has to look like a professional young man so that people won't think that he's a thug. It doesn't use that language here, but that is definitely the implication. And
yeah.
That is shit that people talk about. And, you know?
This poor boy, he doesn't know the comfortability of a hoodie because
if you're a black man in a hoodie, people, treat you in some ways.
And that's awful. Fuck those people. Sometimes you just want to be comfortable, okay? I would literally hate having to wear these like nice tailored like pants and nice shirts all the damn time. This boy, I mean, maybe he likes these linen clothes. Maybe that's better. He
doesn't appear to like them yet.
He doesn't appear to like them, but I'm just like, maybe that's slightly better, you know? Something different.
I mean, drawstring pants comfy as fuck, so.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he'll come to appreciate. So Carter has to listen to his dad about what he dresses, the way that he dresses. But it's not just that. It's we get further into, you know, Carter likes the things that his dad likes because dad told him to like them. Carter doesn't ask questions because dad told him not to. Carter does what his dad tells him to because his dad is always right. And he doesn't get any explanations from his dad. He just has to go along with it because otherwise he gets the feeling that he will be in danger. He doesn't know what the danger is. He doesn't know. There's nothing that he personally can do about it. He has no power in his life. This is why Carter is the way that he is. Because he never solved problems by himself. He never made decisions by himself. You know, he never had, like, personal autonomy.
This poor boy.
Yeah. I actually super relate to specifically that problem of, like, if you never learn to, like, if you don't solve problems and, like, have failure and success by yourself as a kid, it fucks you up as an adult. I know. Personally. Like, if you don't, like, learn how to make decisions and, you know, do shit for yourself, then you keep not doing it. And it's not a great way to live.
I also don't like doing things for myself. I understand. It's scary.
I love Sadie. I can't relate to her at all. She's out there doing her own shit. Sadie has the opposite problems.
I think that's why I always gravitated to Sadie, because I was just like, I want to be this. This is the aspirational of, like, I want to be that confident. Can I please get that somehow, please? And then I'm just like, Carter's too close to home. I need something that's not that.
Anyways,
you get me?
I've been talking about this for too long. I just care about Carter a lot, and I feel like everything that's on this page is, like, super insightful to his character.
He's just the littlest guy, and we must protect him. Also, Muffin is, like, basically protecting him. She's, like, so close to him this entire time. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, Carter is just having conversations with, like, Muffin and Khufu and, like, dealing with himself.
Yeah. He's like, hey, Khufu, did the Lakers win? And Khufu is, like, eating something with pink feathers.
And he's like, I don't want to know what that is.
That's concerning. Goodbye. See you later. They're outside even though it's freezing out, but, like, also there's a fire pit and so I guess we're not cold? Magic.
Yeah, it seems
magic
fine.
Goodness. Don't worry about it. Thoth's eyes are also following him and he's just like, this is fine.
Very fine and normal. And they're having such a nice breakfast. The vibes here are so interesting. Just, like, the most, like, continental breakfast and small talk.
Listen, okay, I love me some breakfast. Do you love breakfast? Because
I'm a breakfast food bitch, yeah.
Breakfast food, like, I love me some sweet, I love me some savory, I love all of it. It's good shit. I just love breakfast, okay? When I go to a breakfast buffet, I'm just like, I'm in heaven. But also, I can make myself so sick by eating here.
So I've always been a big breakfast food person. None of my siblings are. They're weird. But it's nice now because if I'm going out for American food, like, the only place you can do is, like, a diner that does an all-day breakfast, because then I can eat vegetarian. I can get me some eggs, some pancakes, you know? I don't have to deal with getting a burger or a steak. Americans love to eat meat. Did you know this about them?
Yes, we do. I mean, I also love a burger and a steak, but, you know, to each their own.
Yeah,
but also for breakfast,
to an American, a meal is a slab of meat with sides.
Yeah,
but not breakfast. Breakfast can be anything.
I mean, you could also just get mac and cheese forever, forever and ever. It's not a bad deal. I'm not gonna lie. I'd go with it. So, Merry Christmas! Where's our presents? Oh, we just get like foreboding talks. Yay! That could have been the chapter title. Like something like, I don't know, Merry Christmas. People want to kill you. I don't know. Just you gotta get with it, Rick. What happened?
It's like we get explanations for Christmas. You know, something like that. That's how I would format that, I guess.
We get explanations.
Explanations isn't a good word there, but, you know.
A foreboding Christmas breakfast.
But that doesn't fit, like, the pattern of Rick Riordan chapter titles, you know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure this out here. I have some half-baked thoughts. I'm told my life is a lie at Christmas.
Yeah, that works. That works. Amos explains that Khufu only eats foods that end in O. And Carter's like, can I get some clarification on this? And Sadie says, you don't want that. Like, she's already been having this conversation. I love the vibes here.
So he eats Doritos, burritos, flamingos. Good thing Carter and Sadie don't end in O. Amos gets very close. It's so damn close. But he's fine. Also, wait, this is important. This is like their first Christmas as a family in a while?
In a long time, since Sadie was 6 years old, I guess.
Yeah, that's a lot. They also said they used to make God's Eye decorations, and I was just like, hey, I remember making those at camp. Anyway.
I don't know what that is.
It's literally just like, so you make a cross with popsicle sticks, and then you like thread like some yarn like all the way around it and all the way around it until it's like a whole thing. Let me see if I can find God's Eye craft. Let me share the things with you. There's a very long link for you to look at. That's what they are.
Huh, they're fun.
They're just fun and cute. And we used to make them at camp. They're not very difficult to make.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make them, like, more complex, I assume. But small children doing it, you just kind of, like, thread it around the popsicle sticks. And it's cute. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
There's also a crocodile out here. His name is Philip of Macedonia. He's in the swimming pool. He's albino, and he is sensitive about it, so, like, don't bring that up.
And he likes bacon!
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sadie just out here vibing, feeding bacon to a crocodile.
I love how she just takes everything, like, immediately, like, no questions asked at this point. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with it.
Poor Carter. It feels like she's ahead of him.
Yeah, I want to go into why, like, I don't actually know why he's named this, but I want to know why he's named Philip of Macedonia, like, after the father of Alexander the Great, potentially?
I mean, it's a good name. I have no issues with it. Oh, Philip of Macedonia. My beloved. He's my favorite pet that we have so far.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you like Philip. Philip is great. All you need to worry about right now is Philip.
Oh, also, hey, you keep saying Julius is a DILF. Amos is hot, okay?
You're only just
I do not want to
this?
fuck Julius. But Amos?
I'll fuck him both.
My man played jazz saxophone. He got the blue wool suit. He got lapis lazuli braids. Holy shit. Like, hello?
They're both hot, okay? They just have the hot
Probably
gene.
the whole family is gorgeous, like, unfairly. You know how it would be.
Yeah. I mean, we also saw a picture of Ruby. She's also probably gorgeous. Like, just, they're all good, okay?
Okay. So they ask Amos for some explanations. We need them.
I'd love some.
And Sadie says, start with Dad.
Ooh, here's another good one. Explanations with a side of bacon.
That's nice. I can get down with that.
This is just gonna be like making up better titles than Rick. Some days I can do it, some days I cannot.
Who are we to question the master, honestly? But
I will question him any day, anytime. If you put your work out there, clearly you want it to be interpreted. So, okay. So Philip is harmless. Also, in like the old temples, there would be lakes full of crocodiles. They're powerful magical creatures. I love that. I want a crocodile. I want a lake. Why don't I have a moat of crocodiles?
I love reptiles. They're so charming to me. Just some little guys in a lake, in a moat.
They could chomp at you. Little chomp chomp.
No, they would never chomp at me. They're my best friends.
They just nibble. Just a little nibble. Okay. So Julius was attempting to summon a god. Yes, we know this. It worked. Yeah, we know that. I feel like this is reiterating shit that it's explaining it for the small children in the room. But also, I'm just like, didn't we already know that?
See, this is what I'm saying. The book is just vague enough that, like, you can put things together. You gotta let the people do it on their own. This is technically the first time we've ever said that he summoned a god. He said a god's name, and so it's technically obvious. But also, my boy did not even know that gods were real. He has to establish this now. So
it's true. I get understanding the gods are real, like the Egyptian gods. But it's like, yeah, okay. Getting that part. Oh, so like he summoned Osiris, that's a god. I'm pretty sure Carter already said that, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, man.
Nah. Carter has no idea what's going on. His whole worldview is being upended.
He knows
currently.
some Egyptian things. No, I'm saying he knows like the Egyptian names at least. Like, he knows what that is. So it's like, oh, why are you saying Osiris come? Like, you know. But I do love the sarcasm. Like, did he order a generic god? Love that. Because Sadie's just like gone with it and Carter's just like, what the fuck?
The one time we get some Carter sass.
Yeah. So he went after Osiris, possibly for mom reasons. We're not sure, but that's what we're seeming to think right now. And we gotta explain the whole Western civilization shit again. They move with the root of Western civilization. Thank you. Good. Love it. But also, I love this. So the Greeks and the Romans are babies. Great Britain and America are the blink of an eye. Egypt is like just so old and so powerful. We love that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's ancient gods, there's magic, and the gods are not imaginary. He explains a little bit more about the House of Life, which is, it's similar to what I was saying last time, where each temple had a branch of magicians, famed throughout the ancient world. And they're Egyptian magicians. Yo.
And Carter's like, my dad's not a magician, he's an archaeologist. Come on now.
Oh. This is just like, it's just one of those things. It's the trope. Like, my parents can't be spies. They're not cool enough. Anyway.
God.
This is Spy Kids. I need to rewatch that series. But, like, I love that we have, this is his cover story, of course, because he translated ancient spells, and of course, like, yeah, he'd know that because he's a magician. Like, his family is super ancient. The Faust family is also pretty ancient, but they haven't practiced magic in a while.
Hey.
Yeah?
Is the Faust line descended from fucking Faust?
Is
that the origin of their magic?
That's like another question we have to answer later on. I think we learned that, or learned something eventually about that. I don't know, man.
Holy shit.
I honestly don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember much about that family line specifically.
Like, the more that the Faust family comes up, the more I'm like, holy shit, Faust!
Like, was Rick doing this name on purpose, or was he just like, here's a name?
And now we're looking way too deep into it.
I mean, honestly, it's more fun when they do names purposely, okay? It's so much more fun that way.
So yes, Carter and Sadie are the production of, like, 2 ancient magical lines, and they're, like, probably also magic.
Yeah.
Also, their perception of gods is very different from the Greek perception, or the Percy Jackson perception. The Kane perception, we don't worship gods in this side of the river.
Yeah, on this side of the river. So I do think this is a very interesting thing here, where Rick's like specifically, okay, I mean, they're gods, but like they're not like gods, you know, like they're a different ancient type of being. They're very powerful, they're primeval. They're not, you know, the capital G god. Once again, Rick's just like, I'm not touching that. We're not gonna say that the metaphysical god is not real. We're having Christmas breakfast. We're not gonna say it on Jesus' birthday. We're not gonna say it, okay? Like, we don't want to make him mad. But I don't know. It's very interesting that he's kind of like saying they're gods, but they're not actually gods. It's almost like the gods in like the Riordan verse aren't necessarily like as powerful as you would have thought they were in like those religions, maybe? I don't know.
I kind of disagree with that. I don't know. I don't know that this is a diminishing of power, but it is a diminishing of divinity.
Status?
That's what he says here, is that they're not divine. They're entities that, you know, you could negotiate with, or you could fight, or, you know, things that you would do with a person, because they are people. Unlike, like, Christian God.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's, like, a sliding scale here of, like, there's this version of the gods. Then there's, like, the versions of the gods where they're just, like, let's say demons is what the Christianity makes them in certain versions. And then, like, smack dab in the middle, I guess you have, like, Thor and Marvel, where it's just like, no, they're aliens. Like, okay. I don't know where that came from, but sure. They're aliens. It's like I don't know, there's something going on where it's like they're less deities than I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I've entirely lost what I was saying.
Well, so what's interesting to me is not really comparing this to real life, it's comparing this to the other series. You know, because the Greeks still did like respect and worship their gods, and the Egyptians are not doing that right now. They have decided that, you know, that's not worth it. We don't even want to deal with them generally. Apparently we had them sealed away.
I feel like there is also a difference there, though, I guess based on the cultures, because I mean, I don't know enough about how the Egyptians venerated their gods, but the Greeks, it's like, you don't want to offend them, otherwise they'll, like, turn you into this animal, or Zeus will fuck you, or what have you. Like some shit will happen to you if you upset the gods in Greek stuff. So that's why they're worshipped. They're feared.
I don't know. I feel like that is pretty common.
But the Egyptians, maybe they've just been around long enough in this version of the world where it's like, we don't worship them anymore. We kind of work side by side, because like...
Except they don't, or at least not anymore. That's...
Not anymore. I don't know. I'm having very interesting thoughts about this, but we can move on.
Amos does a magic demonstration.
Magic! He just like picks something up and throws it on the floor. And is like, I could have done that with a spell, but like, whatever. Anyway, Painem join, and it magically comes together. Whoa!
So apparently the Rosetta Stone is fine. Who knew?
if you can do that with like anything, could you do that with a person? Does that work? If they'd found all of the pieces to Osiris, could they have just done a Hanem and he would be back to life?
I mean, that seems to be the implication, is that he would have been fine, but that's also because he's a god, though.
Could you do it with a person? Next question.
I feel like it's like mending in D&D. That doesn't work on people.
Oh my god, that's true. There's like something that was happening in BG3 where I was just like, oh, that's taking damage. Can I just hit it with a healing spell and fix it? No, right, that's an object. It's not a person. I don't have an artificer on me. But I do have a mod that gives me one. Okay.
And Carter is like having like a brain blast where he's like, was my dad using magic the whole time? Everything makes so much more sense, but also I hate that, you know.
I also want to know about those gunmen who were after him. Like, were those House of Life people? Were they something else? Because they just, why would the magicians have guns?
Yeah, I really do not know who those people were.
Maybe Julius is actually also running from the regular law as well, and we just didn't know.
Okay, so, Amos is kind of explaining how magic works, but Carter doesn't really get it. This is where we actually get, Sadie's theory about what Dad was trying to do, because he was talking about Mom before, and talking about making things right, and he was trying to get the Lord of the Dead. You put it together, sounds like he was trying to bring Mom back. And Amos is like, I don't know, maybe he could have this bad idea, but...
He doesn't confirm nor deny this, but it seems like they were estranged anyway, so he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
So, but also we got to talk about the fiery guy. He wasn't Osiris, but he's another god that got summoned. Also, I guess Dad joined with the spirit of Osiris. Don't worry about it. It's not important right now.
No explanations. Thank you so much, Amos. This is so useful.
Like, successfully joined with the god. Joined with? Just, we're not talking about it. Don't worry about it. But, so he released 5 gods. Cool.
Okay.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Amos explains that he released them because magicians have been binding and banishing them anytime that they get their hands on them for 2,000 years. Which, that's like so crazy. Like, conceptually. You're just like, yeah, we have a pantheon. We stopped worshipping those guys. We don't like them. They cause more trouble than they're worth. Get them out of here.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's, why are they doing that with their gods? What's going on, guys? No? But, this law was, in fact, enacted in Roman times by their chief lector, Iskandar.
Very interesting.
Now, my brain just goes to an anime when I hear that name, because Iskandar is what they call Alexander the Great in Fate Zero. I don't know why. That's just like the very specific name that they chose, but he's Alexander the Great. He's the king of conquerors, the guy who almost conquered the world, you know?
Yeah.
So, Dad broke the law before.
When Mom died.
When Mom died. Fuck!
He got exiled for his crimes. And
Banished.
they wanted him to stop doing the crimes, and he super did not. And that's why he and Carter were on the run that whole time.
He was just like, I'm gonna be doing crimes, but like, I can't let them know I'm doing the crimes, so gotta get the fuck out. Bruh, this man, as we find out, like, literally the next page as well, he wanted to raise both of his children, even though he knew that he was being banished, and that he would still want to commit crimes, and would have to be on the run for it. Bruh. Not gonna lie, he should have left both of those kids with the Fausts at that point. Like,
he was clearly doing his best, but also, I mean, the crimes.
Yeah.
Very interesting to me how this revelation affects Sadie. The house wanted these 2 kids to be raised separately because they're powerful together for some reason. And so they, like, interfered in these court proceedings. And so it's very interesting to me to think about, like, Carter is, like, kind of bitter that his grandparents didn't want to raise him, and Sadie's kind of bitter that her dad didn't want to raise her. But it turns out that, like, probably either parties would have taken both kids. They just couldn't, because a secret society of magicians were like, no, that is not normally what you expect to have happen in your backstory.
So plot twist, maybe the Fausts weren't being racist?
I mean, they can be racist and also, you know, trying to do their best as grandparents. But also, it's 1, the racism and colorism, but 2, also that he looks like his dad that, like, causes problems for them, which is shitty but understandable, but still shitty. They would have gotten over it if he lived with them, I'm sure. Not the racism, the dad thing.
I mean, honestly, they probably worked with the house and, like, were given an ultimatum. Okay, which child do you want? They were like, we'll take the one that looks like our daughter, actually. You can keep the other one.
Well, there's also, like, sexism to consider, you know? Right. Carter was older, but he's also a boy, and so there might be this misconception that, like, he would be more suited to his dad's lifestyle.
Yeah. Again, that's why I'm just like, maybe they both should have just lived with their grandparents, because, like, we already know that he needs therapy based on his dad's lifestyle and what it did to him as a small child.
Not
it's
ideal.
Just a lot. Really not ideal. But so much fuckery has happened with their family, and this is just the setup, guys. We're still just getting the story set up.
So now that they know that they have magic powers, specifically when they're together, they're like, hey, remember that weird time when we blew up a birthday cake, apparently? And we never, like, got a good explanation for that? That was probably magic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And, like, they were separated, like, right after it, and there was cake everywhere, and Amos was also there. It got all over his glasses.
Delightful.
And he was just like, vanilla icing. Very tasty. Like...
this man does have Chiron vibes, like... They are the same.
He's just a weird guy, also. I like it. So now he's like, you have to be trained. You have to be trained properly, whether the house approves it. Don't worry about why they would or would not. But if only we knew where this, Phoenix, the guy's in Phoenix. It's all happening there. Carter just happens to know it.
Yeah, Carter got some intel, which is good, but also he should not have done that. He should have slept with this shitty rock pillow.
Yeah, he really should have. Even Sadie's just like, yeah, I slept with it. Like, it was obviously there for a reason.
Sadie is much more ready for magic to be real than Carter. Like, they both confirmed it yesterday, but Sadie's like, oh, look at that magic pillow, I probably need that. And Carter's like, why would I sleep with this shitty rock?
Listen, Sadie is the British schoolgirl who didn't get her Hogwarts letter, okay? And Carter's just like, yeah, I, like, go across the world, like to different countries all over the place, and we're, like, running from weird guys, and we're translating weird spells. It's fine. I don't question it. Like, I'm just telling you, they're opposite ends of the YA protagonist spectrum, clearly. So, yeah, sleep is dangerous. You can go into the Duat, the world of spirits and magic. And I don't know, the way it's also described here, it's, like, very interesting. Where it's like, what's the word? It's like a pocket dimension, but not really a pocket dimension. I don't know. It's within the layers. It's within the layers of, like, the worlds, and there's different realms with demons and gods and a whole bunch of other shit. Probably a lot of snakes. And you can just go there when you sleep?
Like I was saying, it is some super D&D shit. And, like, it's almost like our reality isn't the real one and the Duat's, like, the real shit. You know what I mean?
Oh my god, it's like the two pills. It's... You take the pill to forget and you just live in our reality forever, or you take the other pill and you see things as if they're in this alternate plane all the time.
Yeah, it's the soul dimension, and you can go into it accidentally. Yeah, I'm following the man. It all makes sense to me.
My brain also wants to compare it a little bit to, like, the Celtic and Welsh, like, other worlds, where it's like, it's their version of, like, the underworld, or, like, the land of the dead, but also, like, the gods live there. So it's like, it's kind of just like, we have our plane and then we have the magic plane kind of thing. Yeah. And this is kind of what we're going with here. It's we have our plane, we have the magic plane. The Greeks were just kind of like, we have our plane, then we have the plane of the dead. So
Amos also explains here that they traveled through the Duat when they were on their little boat, and that's how they traveled so fast. So it's not really shadow travel, it's Duat travel.
So I need to re-listen to the episode. So last time I think I asked Owen, I'm just like, wait, did you cover this already? Owen apparently did cover it, and I think it was on their episode on the Duat, which I realized when reading this chapter. I'm like, oh, they must have covered it here, because, like, this is like, yeah, I didn't remember that they went through the Duat when they traveled, and that's it. So maybe shadow travel is like the Duat, because, like, you're going into magic shadowy realms to get to other places really fast. I don't know, man. Who's to say it's not? Anyway.
So we established that if you die in the dream, you die in real life, if your soul is outside of your body. So Carter should be careful not to do that anymore. And, Amos has to go to Phoenix and figure out what's going on with the Red Lord, in caps. So, that's a new title for that guy.
No more fiery guy, he's now the Red Lord.
Yeah, we don't need to call him the fiery bloke anymore.
The fact that she just calls everybody bloke, okay, your Britishisms, sure. And Amos is like, you're gonna be by yourselves, but like the cat's here to guard you. Don't worry about it. You also have the albino crocodile, and you have Khufu who likes basketball. Don't worry about it.
He doesn't mention them though. He only mentions the cat. We are not being told something about this fucking cat. Muffin, what are your secrets?
Don't worry about it. Muffin is amazing because Muffin is a cat. That's all that matters.
I mean, true. Amos jumps off the terrace and Sadie like freaks out, and then they're like, "Oh, he didn't fall. He's just gone."
He did like a superhero thing, but also like a magic thing at the same time. I just want to know, like, when he goes to wherever he travels to, does he do a superhero landing? Like, I think that's required personally, because he did like a jump off a building. He has to land somewhere.
So, you know what Amos tells them? He tells them that they should not explore the library. They need to not go in the library. You know what Sadie wants to do now that Amos is gone? She wants to go check out that goddamn library.
What's in the West Wing?
Exactly.
That's the vibes here. Like, you can go anywhere in the castle except for the West Wing. What's in the West Wing? It's forbidden! Anyway, so we're going to the library! Yay!
Yeah. Sadie and Carter have different expectations as people. Sadie expects that when someone doesn't give her answers, she can find them on her own. Carter expects that answers are not for him. Sadie has to know what's going on, and Carter has like learned helplessness of like knowing that he can't know what's going on.
I think Sadie's also like understands the genre that she's in is the other thing. Like based on like what I'm, like these few chapters that I'm rereading here, it feels like she's just like, okay, I'm clearly a YA protagonist in some weird magical series. I just go with the magic. Like, if you refuse the call, it doesn't work out anyway. So just whatever, go with it. Go with the flow. And then you're not supposed to go to that place. That's clearly where we have to go for the plot to progress, Carter. Like, don't you understand it? Are you not genre savvy? Come on. Anyway, that's just how she is.
All right, we got to move along. It's a good chapter. It makes me even more excited for book. You got a plug?
Fuck, I need to get a plug.
Okay.
What was I watching earlier? Oh, that's right. Right. I'm a plug what I just started rewatching because a new season came out. The Dragon Prince.
Oh, really?
Because I was like gonna start season 6, and I'm like, I don't remember any of what's going on here right now. What's happening? Where am I? Who am I? So I'm like, let's just start at the beginning. Let's just get back to it. Because I remember seasons 1 through 3. I don't really remember season 4 a whole lot. And then I have no recollection of season 5, not gonna lie. But apparently I did watch it. So I was just so confused. But if you don't know about it, it's made by one of the writers for Avatar: The Last Airbender. It got very similar vibes. There's, different elements, but it's elements of magic, not bending. So like, there's magicians. There you go. Also, Sokka voices a different character in it, but he's still basically Sokka. Got the Sokka voice, at least. So, yeah, good shit.
Yeah, I started Dragon Prince once. I didn't get very far. It seems like a very cool show, though.
I will say season 1 does have, like, the weird animation that's hard to get used to, because they were trying a different style with it, and they fixed it in subsequent seasons, but it's a little bit janky with, like, this...
Yeah, it feels like the technology was not quite there yet.
Yeah, like the speed that everything's moving at is just a little bit too slow.
Like sometimes the frame rate drops and you're like, am I playing a video game? What's happening?
Yeah, you're like, is it broken? What's wrong with it? No, it's fine. It's just how season 1 is. So what are you consuming?
I was watching a little Ranma 1/2 because I was doing like a project and I needed something easy to watch. This is the first time I've ever actually watched it, I think. I think that I read the manga as a kid, which I like better because I think that comedy frequently works better written because you can like do comedic pacing a little easier. But whatever. Ranma, do you know about Ranma?
I did watch a few episodes of it back in college.
Okay.
You know what? It was very formative for me in my gender fluid awakening in college. So
see, Ranma is too old to actually be progressive about gender, but in some ways it
also is?
feels
like, from what I've
good
heard?
about gender. Like, so Ranma is this kid who gets cursed so that every time cold water gets dumped on him, he turns into a girl, and every time he gets hot water dumped on him, he turns back into a boy. So, like, he has to, like, actively try to turn back, but cold water is everywhere.
And then there's his dad.
You would not believe how often.
Him and his dad were cursed at the same time, but his dad turns into a giant panda instead.
Delightful.
Like, sure, okay. But also there's, like, a romance happening at the same time with this girl who's just like, wow, I'm so done with men. I'm so done with boys. And so it feels very gay.
It does.
Like, from what I remember.
It really does. So what I like about Ranma is how comfortable Ranma feels in his, like, feminine body. You know, it's sometimes weird about gender, but in a lot of ways it's kind of not a very big deal for him. You know, he doesn't, like, freak out when he gets water dumped on him, except for, like, if the situation is awkward or whatever. It's just sometimes he's got huge bazungas at the start of his life. If you look into Ranma fanfiction, I was doing that because I got curious after, like, watching, like, barely any. There's a lot of trans fanfiction, and it's very good. Delightful.
Good to know. I was gonna say, like, literally around the time when I was figuring out some slightly more gender fluid things about myself, I watched a few episodes of Ranma 1/2, and then there was also another formative series, maybe by Rick Riordan, that has a character. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it in, like, 10 years, where he has no idea what's going on.
I mean, it's not like I don't know by reputation, but...
Exactly.
People love to talk about queer characters on Tumblr.
As they should. The queer characters are the most important ones. Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here. Release us from this mortal coil, please.
I mean, I guess I will. Like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, you're gonna go to Phoenix, I guess. You're leaving me on Christmas morning.
See, I'm imagining that you say get out of my house and I'm like, fine, and my soul just leaves and I just, like, collapse.
Your soul left, you went to Phoenix, you're leaving me, it's Christmas? How dare you? Why didn't you use the goddamn, like, stone headrest?
I'm sorry, I can only sleep on my side.
God damn it, Ray. How dare you?
I'm gonna get neck cramps so bad. Alright. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Ray, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on a series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
On my first podcast, That's What I'm Tolkien About, I experienced the world of J.R.R. Tolkien for the first time. Now, I'm turning my attention to a galaxy far, far away. My name is Mary Clay, and I am embarking on my first ever journey through the world of Star Wars. Join me each Tuesday as I drive deeper into hyperspace and discover what this vast universe has to offer. My guests will become like Obi-Wan Kenobi as they guide me through this adventure. The sequel trilogy is good information to have because I didn't know what to refer to those movies as.
There's a sequel trilogy, and then there are 2 spin-off movies that have come out in the last 10 years.
Okay, so very similar to Shrek. Shrek had the original trilogy, and then it had some spin-offs with Puss in Boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly like that.
Listen to Skywalk Before You Run every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found.
All right, but how do we start the pod? I forgot. I've been away for so long.
It does feel
Welcome
like it's
to-
been a while.
Oh, I'm just not gonna start. It's just that's it.
I'll take this duty upon myself. we can do this, man. We can make it happen.
Dave X Media.